What's up guys, Sean Nalawani here, SeanNal.com, bodytransformationtruth.com, and in this video here I wanted to dispel a very common myth that you'll see floating around in the fitness industry, which is the idea of foods that burn fat. So you've probably seen articles and videos like this floating around, the 8 best fat burning foods or 5 foods that burn fat fast. And depending on how you interpret the idea of a fat burning food, it's either a completely false concept or there's some truth to it, but only a little bit. So let's take a look at both scenarios. So the first is the literal idea of a fat burning food. And these are the ones that you'll see on ads and in general weight loss articles, where they basically imply that if you add a particular food into your diet, that you'll actually burn more fat as a result. And this could be because the food supposedly boosts your fat burning hormone levels, or it increases your metabolism, or whatever else. And this is totally false. And for people who are new to fitness and proper nutrition, it's actually a really dangerous concept that does a lot more harm than good. It is true that when you eat a particular food, your body has to expend a certain number of calories to extract the total calories from that food. This is called the thermic effect of food, or TEF. However, the overall result is always going to be a positive net increase in your calorie intake. There's no such thing as a negative calorie food or a free food that you can just eat in unlimited quantities. Anything that you consume that contains calories will add to your calorie intake. So in that sense, the idea of a fat burning food is basically an oxymoron, and adding a particular food to your diet on top of what you're already eating is never going to result in more fat loss for the day as a whole. And this is why articles that talk about this are dangerous, because they'll tell people that avocado is a fat burning food, or coconut oil or chocolate are fat burning foods, and then people think, okay, great, I can add some avocado or some dark chocolate to my diet and I'm gonna get better overall results. When in reality, a lot of these so-called fat loss foods are actually extremely calorie dense, and the number of calories that you end up storing hugely outweighs what your body burns to digest them. Yes, obviously some foods have lower calorie density in comparison to the total volume that they provide. Vegetables are a good example of that. And so including those foods in your diet is a helpful way to keep yourself feeling full without adding a lot of calories, but they still do add calories to your diet. And usually you won't be eating them plain anyway. And so whatever else you add to those foods also contributes to your calorie intake. Now, unless you're a complete beginner, then I'm sure most of you were aware of that already, but I did mention that there was some truth to this concept, and that's because different macronutrients have higher or lower thermic effects. So certain foods do require more calorie output to digest them in comparison to other foods. Now, there's no universally agreed on figures here, so these are just ballpark estimates, but dietary fat has the lowest TEF at about 3 to 5%. Carbohydrates are around 5 to 15%, and protein is the highest at about 20 to 30%, and fiber is also about the same as protein. So in other words, if you ate 100 calories worth of fat, your body would expend maybe 5 calories in order to extract those 100 calories, and so the net result would be 95 calories. Whereas if you ate 100 calories worth of protein, your body might expend, say, 25 calories, and so the net result might be 75 calories. So in that sense, the idea of fat-burning foods sort of makes sense, but only in terms of comparing one food item that has a lower thermic effect and with the same number of total calories as another food item that has a higher thermic effect. So, for example, a can of tuna could be looked at as more of a fat-burning food than 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, because even though they both have the same calorie content, your body has to expend more energy to extract the calories from the tuna. Now, some people will hear this sort of thing and then think, okay, I'm just gonna eat nothing but high protein and high fiber foods, and that way I'll maximize TEF and I'll lose more fat. It's obviously not that simple though, and there's a couple important things to keep in mind. First off, even though dietary fat has a very low thermic effect, you still need a certain amount of dietary fat for health reasons like proper brain function and keeping hormone levels in check. So really low-fat diets are basically never a good idea to begin with, not to mention that they will cause your appetite to go way up. Secondly, most people generally won't be best off on a low-carb diet. For some people it works, but for the majority, a low-carb diet will cause low energy and lowered mental focus, among other things, which can negatively affect your training performance and your motivation levels. And then thirdly, TEF only makes up a small percentage of your total calorie burn for the day anyway, usually about 10%. And so it doesn't really make any sense to try and structure your diet around maximizing the thermic effect, as opposed to just making sure that you're maintaining a calorie deficit and consuming a good balanced mix of macronutrients. I already recommend that you consume around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily. I recommend that you do include high fiber foods like vegetables in order to fill yourself up and meet your micronutrient needs. And so you're gonna get a decent thermic effect from that already. And you're gonna do that while keeping your appetite controlled. And so I really wouldn't worry much about TEF beyond that. Like I've said a million times before, fat loss is about maintaining a calorie deficit over time through a balanced macronutrient intake. And it's not about only eating certain food items and avoiding other ones. There's no such thing as fat burning foods or fat storing foods. There's only such a thing as a fat burning diet or a fat storing diet. And that's gonna be primarily dictated by overall energy balance. So thanks for watching, guys. If you appreciate science-based, no BS information when it comes to training and nutrition, then you can grab my body transformation blueprint by clicking here or by heading over to bodytransformationtruth.com using the link in the description box. That program shows you everything you need to know to lose fat and to gain muscle effectively in a simple step-by-step format. You can follow me on social media here if you aren't already. The official website is SeanNall.com, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you did find the information helpful. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.